Have you ever felt like your life was falling apart, not because of some disaster, but because of one careless word, one emotional outburst, one impulsive swipe of your card, or a sleepless night trapped in your own thoughts? It's not the outside world that's breaking you. It's the lack of foundation within. In a time when everyone is obsessed with controlling others, controlling outcomes, controlling appearances, the Stoic takes a different path. He chooses to master the only thing he truly owns, himself. His battlefield is quietist discipline focused on 4 inner realms: speech, mood, mind, and money. Part 1. Control your mouth. The power of restrained speech. The strongest person in the room is never the one who talks the most. It's the one who knows when to stay silent. We often think speaking up, especially when we're right, is a form of courage. But the Stoics challenge us with a deeper question. Is it necessary? Is it helpful? Is this the right moment? Because truth, without timing, can become a weapon, and honesty, without discipline, can do more harm than good. Consider the story of Aaron. He was the kind of man others respected not for how much he spoke, but for the weight his words carried when he did. For years, his quiet presence and steady insight earned him admiration. But one day, in a moment of frustration, he interrupted a meeting to correct someone. He was right. Every word was true. But his tone, his timing it, cost him something invaluable: trust. And trust, once fractured, rarely returns in full. This story reminds us of a painful truth. You can win the argument and still lose the room. You can speak truth and still lose respect if your delivery is driven by ego, not purpose. In today's noisy world where everyone rushes to voice their opinions, to post, to react, intentional silence has become a rare superpower. The Stoics didn't seek silence out of weakness. They chose it as a form of strength, a kind of quiet that commands more attention than shouting ever could. A simple Stoic practice. Before speaking, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. Is this necessary? Is this helpful? Is this the right time? If the answer to any of these is no, choose silence. Not as a retreat, but as an act of power. Because every word you speak is a reflection of your character. Let your words build bridges, not burn them. Speak less, mean more. Let your silence echo louder than noise. Part 2. Control your mood, mastering the inner storm. Emotions are not the enemy, but acting on them without awareness is self-destruction. We've all had those days. You spill coffee on your shirt in the morning, and somehow the day just spirals. That minor frustration follows you into the meeting room. It leaks into your tone with co-workers. It lingers at home. You lie in bed, exhausted not from physical effort, but from emotional chaos. One tiny moment hijacked your entire day. That's the danger of an untamed mood. It multiplies. The story of Jason captures this perfectly. After months of job searching, he finally landed a high-stakes interview. But that morning, everything went wrong. He woke up late, hit traffic, spilled coffee on himself. By the time he sat across from the hiring manager, he carried more than nerves. He carried frustration. His words were clipped, his energy defensive. Though he was qualified, he never got a call back. Why? Because he brought the wrong version of himself into the room. The Stoics didn't teach us to suppress our emotions. They taught us to recognize them, name them, and then choose how to act. Emotion is part of the human experience, but reaction is always a choice. A practical Stoic exercise. When a strong emotion rises, don't suppress it, name it. I feel anger. I feel disappointment. I feel dismissed. Then pause and ask, what would the stronger version of me do right now? That pause, that breath between feeling and action is where real power lives. Because emotional mastery isn't about pretending to be calm. It's about being able to stay centered, even when everything inside you wants to explode. It's about choosing your mood instead of letting your mood choose you. Train yourself to respond, not react. And in that training, you'll discover something few ever attain: emotional sovereignty, the power to stay calm while the world shakes. Part 3. Control your mind. Don't believe everything you think. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses what to do with them. Some days, your biggest enemy isn't out there. It's not your boss, not your bank account, not your partner. It's the quiet voice in your head whispering, "You're not good enough. You'll probably fail. They don't respect you." And the tragedy? You believe it. Not because it's true, but because it sounds familiar. You've rehearsed these lines so often, they feel like facts. But they're not facts. They're untrained thought loops of fear disguised as logic. Let's talk about Carl. He lost his job not because of poor performance, but budget cuts. At first, he took action, but slowly, his thoughts took over. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe no one's hiring. Maybe I'm done. He stopped applying, stopped replying, and eventually stopped believing. The Stoics warned us of this trap. It's not events that disturb us, Epictetus said, but our judgments about them. Your mind doesn't reflect reality, it interprets it. And if you don't question that interpretation, you'll live inside a story you never consciously chose. Stoic mind training. Start observing your thoughts like a mental security guard. Pause and ask, is this a factor, just fear? Journal the difference between what happened and what you told yourself about it. If the thought doesn't serve your growth, dismiss it like junk food. Just because it showed up doesn't mean it deserves to stay. When you train your mind to observe, not obey, you stop being a victim of your thinking and start becoming its master. And that's what Stoicism really teaches us. Not how to shut off our minds, but how to clean them, challenge them, and choose the thoughts that build the future we actually want. Your mind isn't a mirror, it's a tool. Sharpen it. Part 4. Control your money. Turn your wallet into a weapon of freedom. True wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how little you need to feel whole. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a self-discipline problem disguised as lifestyle. They spend not because they need, but because they're bored, stressed, insecure, or simply trying to feel in control of something. We've all done it. You're overwhelmed. You scroll, you click, you buy. And for a brief second, the dopamine hits. But what comes after? Guilt, mental clutter, a subtle erosion of peace. Because uncontrolled spending doesn't just empty your account, it empties your clarity. The story of Leo proves this. Nice car, trendy clothes, dinner at all the right places. On social media, he looked successful. Behind the curtain, maxed out credit cards, sleepless nights, constant pressure to maintain an image. He wasn't buying things. He was buying approval. And that's the trap. You spend to feel better, but you never get better. You buy to feel secure, but become more dependent. And worst of all, you lose sight of who you're becoming. Stoic practice for financial power. Ask 3 questions before any purchase. 1. Does this align with the person I'm becoming? 2. Is this a reward or just emotional relief? 3. Will this matter in 5 years? The Stoic doesn't spend to impress. He spends to protect. He saves not out of fear but out of clarity. He delays gratification because he's building something stronger than image, independence. Because the truth is brutal and liberating. You don't need to be rich. You need to stop betraying your values for short-term pleasure. Money is a mirror. It reflects whether you're living with purpose or running from discomfort. Train yourself to spend like a Stoic. Quietly, intentionally, without apology. And you'll discover a rare kind of wealth. Freedom from the need to prove anything to anyone. Part 5. Control yourself, or be controlled by everything else. If you don't lead yourself, something else will. Your anger, your fear, your habits, or your past. We often talk about freedom. Freedom to do what we want, say what we feel, spend how we like. But here's the hard truth. What most people call freedom is just unfiltered impulse. They think freedom is doing whatever they feel like. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. True freedom is the ability to choose the harder path when it's the right one. To delay, to discipline, to direct yourself with intention even when no one is watching. Take Anthony, for example. He reacted to everything. Criticism, he lashed out. Unexpected bill, panic. Tough conversation, he blamed others. Outwardly, he seemed bold, but it wasn't strength. It was emotional chaos dressed up as confidence. Because if the world can push your buttons, it owns you. Every unfiltered word, every emotional purchase, every wasted hour. They seem small until one day you look up and realize your life isn't being lived, it's being leaked. The Stoic path is not about suppressing your humanity. It's about elevating your awareness. To be able to look in the mirror and ask, am I the master of my reactions? Or just a slave to my mood swings? Do my habits reflect discipline or distraction? The Stoic solution. Start small. Build a life that respects who you're trying to become. Say no when comfort whispers yes. Walk away when ego wants to fight. Wake up when your emotions want to snooze. Because the most dangerous enemy isn't external. It's the version of you that knows better, but doesn't act like it. And the most powerful man in any room, not the loudest, not the richest, but the one who can rule himself when no one else can. Own yourself, or prepare to be owned. There is no middle ground. Conclusion: become unbreakable. You can't control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. And that alone will shape the entire world you live in. So ask yourself, am I controlling my words or letting emotions speak for me? Do I act on moods or on principles? Do I spend to impress or to express my values? Do I own my mind or obey my doubts? If even one of those questions stings good, that means you're ready. Ready to walk the path of the Stoic. Because the one who controls himself can never be controlled by fear, emotion, money, or public opinion. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment below. Inner power. Let it be your quiet commitment to live with intention. And if you're ready for more, subscribe to the Stoic path so you don't miss the next chapter in mastering your inner world. Your journey is just beginning.